Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is B and I post crafty videos, and today we're going to be making this card. And because we are still in May, we're going to be doing this beautiful card from a Karen Bernstein. It brings all these dies and then you get this beautiful like pop-up card. I'm gonna be using also this mini alphabet that it's from her shop as well. I will link it down below so you can go get it. And because we're still in May, we're gonna be making a mermaid card, and I'm gonna be using one of my favorite stamps. It's Sweet November stamps, and the set is the Merwies number 2, and I'm gonna also link it down in the box below so you can go get it. And I am gonna be using this Echo Park Undersea Adventures paper pad. I'm super proud of myself because I have really used this paper pad for my May mermaid creations. I'm gonna also be using this gorgeous blue paper that it's kind of shimmery, so I thought it was perfect for this project. I'm gonna be using this gray contrast paper, and then I think I'm gonna use these 3, maybe a couple more from the paper pad. So let's go ahead and get started. So for my base, I am using this shimmery blue paper, and this measures 11 by 4.25, and I score it right in half. We're gonna make sure that we fold this and we have a really nice crisp fold because this card is kind of bulky. And then these are the dies that I'm gonna be using. This is for the insert part of the pop-up mechanism, and I'm gonna be using these 2 little frames for matting my stamps, and this right here is another die that you need. These 2 together make the inside mechanism. I think for this card I'm also going to use the banner ones to make a bound banner, like because it's a birthday card. For the inside, I am using this gray paper. It measures 10 3/4 by 4, and it's scored at 5 3/8. But before we glue this paper down, we need to use this die that the set comes with, and you're gonna align those 2 little knobs that the die has with the middle of your card with that scoring line, and you're gonna go ahead and run it through your die cutting machine. I am just eyeballing here, making sure that I think it's in the center. You can measure if you want to. And here is, I have run it through my die cutting machine, and I'm just going to remove the die and show you how it looks like. Here is how it looks like, and you have these 4 scoring lines. You're just going to score them together, and that's going to do help you put the arm for the inside pop-up for the mechanism that goes inside. So that's what I'm doing right here. I am folding all the creases so we can go to the next step. As you can see here, I was having a little bit of difficulty folding this the right way. So what you have to do is push those little arms to the side that they look like 2 arrows. Push them inside like so, so you have a V at the end of your card, the inside of your card. Now the die comes also with this kind of arrow type. It looks like an arrow to me, and you're gonna have to cut 2 of those. I am gonna cut it in the same gray cardstock that I'm using right here, and we're gonna go ahead and do that and come back. Here are the 2 arms already cut. You have to fold it in half. It has kind of like a score line there. Just make sure that you do it carefully because the scoring line is not as pronounced, so it's kind of a little bit difficult to, at least it was for me. I think I also was using a cardstock that it was a little bit too thick for this project, but I really wanted to use this gray. So you just have to repeat the same process with the 2 parts, the 2 arms that are gonna be with the inside mechanism to put the pop-up part of the card. Now for this part, I recommend that you actually add wet glue and not just double-sided tape, unless you have a double-sided tape that is really strong. You can also add double-sided tape and glue on top of that to make sure that these two arms stay there, because that's where the main part of your car is going to be. I was having some difficulty here figuring out exactly how I needed to place them, but if you notice, the two arms, they have like a little notch to the side. So that notch, one is supposed to go up, and the other arm is supposed to go to the other side. So the little notch here that I'm doing, it went up, and then on the other side, the little notch, it's gonna go to the opposite side. I hope I am making sense here. If not, I am so sorry, but if you buy the die, you'll know what I mean. So this is how it looks like put together. And now we're gonna go ahead and move to the next part of our card. So here in this part of the video, I am showing you the little notch. So you are gonna add some double-sided tape from that little notch all the way to the other side, to the end, and the same you're gonna do with the other side. You can see here that the notches are in opposite sides of the card. So right now I'm just gonna add some double-sided tape to from that little notch to the end of the arm, and I'm going to repeat the same process with the other side. Now that you have your inside part ready to go, you're going to align it with the middle of your card and go ahead and glue it down. You're going to add glue to both sides of the card, and you're going to see me do that now. Now we're gonna work on the inside pop-up part of the card. We're gonna set this aside, and you're gonna grab one of the dies that comes with the set. I'm using again the blue sparkly paper, and this is the die that we're gonna use, and you want to cut 4 of these. So cut these 2 times, and what I do is that I'm gonna fold this cardstock in half because it's really thin, and I know that this die is gonna cut through both layers, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that and come back. So here are my 2 sides. I'm gonna crease in the middle, fold that, and also fold the little tab right there, and then you're gonna go ahead and add glue to both little tabs, and they're gonna go underneath each other, and I'm gonna show you how right now. See here, that's how it's gonna look like, and it's gonna be like an accordion, little accordion book. Now for the inside part, this is the fun part of this card, and I'm gonna use these 2 dies to do kind of a matting and put my stamps on top of that. Here I was figuring out exactly what papers I wanted to use, because I think at this moment I was thinking that I wanted to like intercalate the papers, so 2 would be the same and then 2 different ones. So I went ahead and cut 4. These 4 are going to be for 2 of the little rectangles, and then I'm going to cut 4 more for the other 2. I'm also using this Distress Oxide ink Stormy Sky for the edges of my paper to add a little bit more dimension and a little more fun to this card, so it's not that plain. Here I am gluing down the papers that I have chosen for these 2, and then you're gonna see me choose different papers for the other 2. For the other two, I chose that bubble paper for the base and then the red for the top for a pop of color. Now it's time to stamp, and I am using my stamp tool for this, and the reason I'm using this and not a regular clear block for this is because sometimes I tend to stamp my stamps not as perfect, and I want those lines to be so crisp and beautiful, and this is why I love my stamp tool, because I can just stamp it over and over and again and not have any issues with this. So for this, instead of choosing 4 mermaids, I have chosen the little seal, which is so chunky and cute. I absolutely adore that stamp. And then I chose 2 mermaids and the jellyfish. For my stamping, I'm using Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and this ink is absolutely fabulous and perfect if you are coloring with any alcohol marker. That way your ink doesn't smear. Now here you're gonna see me stamping a second time because, as I said before, my lines were not very crisp in some of these. You cannot see it here, but I was able to see it, so I am stamping a second time, and this is the very reason why I use my stamp tool all the time, and I also can stamp a few stamps at the same time, and it saves time. Now let me know in the comments if you use a stamp tool and which one you have. Now I'm gonna color my stamps, and I'm using my Ohuhu alcohol markers, and to save you time I am gonna speed up to this process. And just like that, super quick, I was done coloring my images, and now I'm just gonna cut around them and leave a little white rim of paper. Here are my images ready to go, and I am going to use dimensional tape to glue them down to my paper. Now that we have the inside decoration done, which is this pop-up mechanism, the accordion little booklet, I am going to remove the one side first of the double-sided tape. I am going to align it to the middle of that line, and then I'm going to do the same with the other side, and you are just going to glue here, just that part, because you want the middle of this accordion booklet to be popped up. And this is how it looks like. I noticed that I had a little bit left over there of cardstock, so I'm just gonna snip that out, and the inside is ready for decoration. Now this paper that I'm using here measures 3/7/8 by 4 3/8, and I am cutting 2 papers, one for the top part, which is this crap printed paper that I think it's adorable, and then I'm going to be using white cardstock for the bottom part so I can write a message for the person receiving the card. I decided where I'm gonna put the white cardstock to add my message, that I also want to decorate it with a little bit of that crab paper. So I'm just gonna cut here. I am just cutting an inch in width, and then I'm just gluing it down and cutting the excess paper. And here I'm just using double-sided tape to add my paper to the bottom side of the card. This is how it looks like so far, and I think it looks adorable. And now we're going to decorate the outside. For my outside, I am using 2 pieces of paper. One is a 4 by 5 1/4, and the top paper, which is the fish paper, it's 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. I am using Distress ink for the sides of my paper to add a little bit more of dimension. Now I went ahead and cut with this die set that I am a fan of. I absolutely adore this mini alphabet set. So I cut the words "Let's Celebrate," and I'm gonna go ahead and put this together and show you how it looks like at the end. I am also using these 2 dies that come also with the card set, the die set, and cut some with contrasting paper of the papers that I have used inside and outside as well. I am gonna use some twine to put them together and glue it to my card. Now here's a tip from me to you when using twine so it doesn't unravel. Add a little bit of wax to the tip of it so you can feed it through small holes easier. To glue down my birthday banner, I am using dimensionals as well to raise them a little bit, and then I am going to glue down my message. And it is done. This is how it turned out. I really like it. I added these 3 little gems, and inside I'd added some little banner as well because I had some leftover, and this is how it turned out. And now I'm just gonna put it in an envelope and send it to somebody that I know it's going to love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Happy crafting!